Welcome to Movie Life Crisis. Join us as we watch the best movies from 30 years ago.
Here I come!
He's got the moves,
Are you some kind of idiot?
the look, the brains.
Oh, really, Ford? Really?
But to get his inheritance, he needs a diploma.
I can do this if I set my mind to it.
Class, say hello to Billy Madison.
Adam Sandler,
Now you're all in big trouble.
Billy Madison.
You want some more of that? I didn't think so!
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, February 10th at theaters everywhere.
What the heck? So wait, he was gonna only get his inheritance?
No,
I
he was
thought
gonna
he was
take-
gonna
he was
be-
going to take over the company.
Right. I guess maybe that's just the way they said it on
Yeah, the trailer.
the trailer. The whole time I was just like, wait a second, that's not. Yeah.
I'm surprised with a budget of only $10 million they could afford Jackson 5 ABC. That seems like an expensive song to put in a movie.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't Jackson 5. Maybe it was Schmackson 6 singing it, and it just sounds like Jackson 5 like they do.
I mean, if they did a freaking amazing job. 'Cause that
Yeah, they
was-
did a really good
that was
job.
top notch.
Yeah. But
Movie
they
Life
got their
Crisis.
money's worth.
Dude, they for sure did. They put it in the trailer, too. I guess, I
Yeah.
wonder if you have to pay extra for that. Questions that I'll never know the answers to.
Never ever know.
Season 5, Episode 12, Movie Life Crisis, doing Billy Madison. A reminder that we are uploading video episodes to YouTube so you can actually see the trailer. And us. Again, no reason to do that. Although,
No, why?
I was going to tell you, our YouTube channel was on 69 subscribers for like 3 weeks. And I was like, hey, right on. But now we're up to 72, so no reason to celebrate that at all. Still kind of wild that 72 adults intentionally clicked subscribe on that YouTube channel.
Yeah, especially since we don't even do that thing that people always do. Is like, yo, mash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you get notification.
Ring the bell and share it and comment. Yeah, we don't do any of that. It just goes out there, and then you can watch it if you want to, or you can
Right.
listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, we
Right.
did get Harry and the Hendersons out on Patreon.
Yeah.
So Patreon folks, you got that. Which is basically just a movie about what if an Ewok was really tall and John Lithgow hit it with a wood-paneled station wagon.
Hit it with the family truckster.
All right, man. Billy Madison, give us a synopsis.
Synopsis. A man-child must go back to school, grade by grade, to prove he's worthy of taking over his father's fortune.
Back to school, back to school.
His poor dad.
I forgot how much Adam Sandler, especially in the early movies, was just like him playing an Adam Sandler character where he just sung weird songs and just did dumb stuff.
Yes. Since we just talked about his dad, that's Darren McGavin, by the way. That's the dad from A Christmas Story. We just did Harry and the Hendersons that had the mom from A Christmas Story.
Yep.
Circular.
Coming all around.
Just realized that.
I didn't recognize his dad, but I do, now that you're saying that, I do see that.
Yeah. He worked with bad words the way other people work in oil paints. Or however that goes.
He's dude, this movie, I couldn't remember. So $10 million budget, $26 million gross. It opened at number 1, but didn't really make that much money. Which is,
good.
if you'd asked me to guess, I would have said like $150 million, even in 95, easy. Everyone I knew loved this movie. Everyone owned it on VHS and then DVD. And not a day went by where someone didn't say Billy Madison quotes. And I'm including like up until the last, like now. People still say them.
Yeah, people still say them.
People still say, I'm the smartest man alive. People still say, and there will be no cheating, especially with my wife, who is a dirty, dirty slut. My friends still say Billy Madison quotes.
The fact that you were like 150, everybody I knew liked it, and everybody I knew was 13 years old that loved dick and fart jokes. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I was clearly not, as a teenager, really clued into what movies were doing really well. This was the 65th biggest movie of the year. It was behind House Guest. It was ahead of Desperado, and that seems really strange to me because if this went off of Netflix, I feel like there would be a petition started in minutes.
right.
I mean, it's not on Netflix, but if it wasn't streaming anywhere, people would be like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, this is definitely a cult classic. People are all about it.
I don't even think cult classic. Like I feel like Empire Records is a cult classic. Like people post its Rex Manning Day once a year. I feel like Billy Madison is still a big movie.
Yeah. No, I see that.
Like if you're over the age of 30 and you haven't seen this, you probably feel really strange about it. I mean, if you're a guy, if you're a woman, you probably don't care, which is fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, my wife was like, "What is on in there?" Oh my God, I can't believe. Are you watching this for fun or for the podcast? I was like, yes.
Yeah, we were. My wife, she was like, "What are you gonna do tonight?" I was like, "I gotta watch a movie for the podcast." She's like, "What movie is this?" Like Billy Madison. She's like, "I'm going to bed."
I don't need any of that. Yeah, the thing is she likes Happy Gilmore. She likes a lot of the other Adam Sandler movies. Doesn't really like this one. I mean, I can see why. I mean,
dude, no one has to explain to me why they might not like this movie, but I friggin' love it.
Yeah, it was funny.
Did you find any awards? I don't think this was an awards type of movie.
So it was. So it did. Got a nomination at the MTV Movie Awards for Best Comedic Performance from Mr. Adam Sandler, and then it got nominated for the Worst Actor at the Razzies that year for Adam Sandler. But that was before critics knew what type of movies Adam Sandler was going to make.
Yeah. I will say that Adam Sandler lost that Best Comedic Performance for MTV Movie Awards to Jim Carrey from Dumb and Dumber, which is the right call, except it came out in a different calendar year. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. I never understood how the award shows do their thing.
Yeah, but dude, also nominated in that category that year, shout out to MTV Movie Awards, Tom Arnold in True Lies. Which is a deep cut, but is such a good idea.
Yeah.
He was freaking hilarious in that movie.
We both love him in that. Yeah.
So good. Like, we're definitely going to kill him.
What kind of award would this get? Other than those two? You know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, nothing. Yeah, like a Kids' Choice Award? I don't know.
Yeah. Ah, man. Not even kids, though, because it's got to be young adults or nobody's getting any of the jokes.
I know. Sequels and spinoffs? I didn't see anything. I'm not aware of any.
Unless you count memes and people walking around quoting it, then no spinoffs. No spinoffs.
Dude, everything in this movie, my quotes were full of quotes, but even my scenes, I was picking scenes that had a lot of quotes that I was not otherwise going to be able to get to.
Right, I did that.
Because there were just this
I did
movie.
That too.
And obviously, if you're 15 when this movie comes out and there's no internet, this is like one of the 20 comedies of the 90s that shaped my whole childhood, my whole teenage years.
Yeah, no, and dude, that is a perfect segue to where I first saw it because I didn't see this in the theater. Being old enough to see it and still not going to the theater, but then everybody quoting it, and I'm going like, man, apparently I got to see this because, I mean, I know who Adam Sandler now, like, I didn't know what the deal was. I had to go rent it, and I've been also quoting it ever since. I owned it on DVD, so I've watched it a bunch.
Well, I was going to ask you because you're...
Not recently, though. This was...
Yeah, I was kind of curious because I remember your younger sister who's like... I mean, she's younger when we were little, but now we're all the same age, basically. She's a year younger than me. She had, like, posters of Adam Sandler all over her room and loved Adam Sandler.
Loved Adam Sandler.
But I couldn't remember if you also liked him or if you were like,
Sandler.
He's fine.
I mean, I like him fine. I think, I don't know, how much can you like Adam Sandler? I liked him for a different reason than she did, I think. But
yeah,
like,
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I also love
like
Adam Sandler. Not like I want to marry Adam Sandler, but I
Hey.
just think he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is. So we'll get to it because I want to talk about like the part of Adam Sandler that you do like and what you don't like. Is there stuff you don't like about some of the stuff? Did you feel cringy when you were watching this at all?
No, the only things that I would have taken out that I never liked was like there's the weird to start the third act. They're just like as a big opera song and like the clown comes in and everyone's singing and all the kids are like doing their like step dance on it. Like that was just so weird.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't mind the song so much, but I don't know. I like the clown part of the song where he was like, I fell over and broke my leg and got a hemorrhage in my head. That was a good line, but like all the rest of it I could have done without. And the penguin. Like I felt like the penguin was like, what is it called? Like diminishing returns on the investment of the funniness of the penguin. So like some of the stuff I was just like, man, like, and again, I had just talked to my wife and she was like, yeah, I'm not watching that. You can turn it down, please. That would be great type stuff. And then he was just like, no, shampoo is better. No. And he like that kind of stuff. And then I started thinking, I was like, man, at 46, I don't feel the same way as I did when I was 13, where I was like, oh, what a comedic genius.
Well, I saw an article that the director wrote, Tamara Davis, in the Washington Post for the 20th anniversary, and she was talking about how she still hears on sets people quoting like Billy Madison all the time, and they don't know that she directed it. But she was saying like, because Adam Sandler wanted someone else to direct the movie. They started with that director, it didn't work out, so they brought her in after like 4 days. And she's like, I'm just trying to figure out like what makes Adam laugh, what makes Adam in a good mood. And so like we're shooting all kind of stuff and I don't understand it at all, but I figure it's not really my job to understand it. Like the penguin and the clown and the O'Doyle, like the family going off a cliff, like all that stuff was super weird to me, but I was like, it doesn't matter. Like he thinks it's funny and this is his movie, so we just do it.
Right.
And I was like, that seems like
you
a
just
perfect
make sure
way.
the camera's pointing in the right place.
Yeah, that seems like a really good way to direct Adam Sandler. When no one knows, because he just came off of SNL. This is his first movie. No one knows that Adam Sandler's going to spend 30 plus years making these super weird, like man-child comedies that all have the same idiot jokes now as they did in 1995.
Yeah. I was going to say they are not any different. I can't like Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out soon.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine it being that different from, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, dude. He's just
for a while he was doing movies where it was like, for a while he was doing movies like where it's, oh snap, we're going to go on a cruise in Italy and that's where we're going to film a movie. And it's just going to work out that I also get to go on a cruise for, 30 days while we film this movie on a cruise ship. That's freaking awesome. Like he's living the dream. And now he's making Happy Gilmore 2, which I'm sure will be the same.
Let's do ratings before we get too deep into that. How'd you rate this?
Yeah. Dude, you know how it's 1 to 10, no 7s.
Yeah.
Dude, it doesn't feel like an 8 for me. But I don't want to not. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But I can't give it an 8, so I gave it a 6.5. Since I'm not allowed to give it anything closer to a 7 than 6.5. And it's not to say that it's not funny. It's super funny. I'm 46 now, though, and the funniness is different, maybe. Like, I feel like it's a movie of its time, and there's a lot of juvenile humor that it wouldn't make the screen today if they did it, if they rewrote it or tried to reboot it. I don't know. It just, some of it was like spectacularly dumb that I didn't remember it being as dumb. Like I get the, he called the shit poop. Like I like those jokes, but I don't know. It's just, it made me cringe a little too much. So I dropped it down to 6.5.
I want to, what I want to know is if your 13-year-old watched it.
He had already seen it. Yes. He saw it when he was like 11.
Because I don't think it's dated really. I think, in other words, I think if you showed it to a 12 or 13-year-old boy now, they would still think it's hilarious.
Yeah. No, and he likes this kind of humor because he's, he was 11 when he watched it. So like, this is right up his alley, just like it was right up our alley when we watched it. But like, I don't know. I was trying to put myself in that thing, and I was laughing at the jokes still, but I just couldn't give it I couldn't give it an 8, so I went with 6.5.
Yeah, dude, that's fine. It's got a 41% score on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's got a 16 out of 100 on Metacritic. Like all critics hate this movie, so I think 6.5 is totally fair.
I normally don't go with the critics though.
I don't think you
Yeah,
are going with the
yeah.
critics. I think you probably would put it at a 7 if you could score a 7. This is an easy 8 for me just from the quotes. And there's some stuff that's dumb, but I think when you're like the cool thing about Adam Sandler, the thing that I always like is he's always done his own thing. Like he writes the movies with his same idiot buddies, and then he casts them with his other idiot buddies, and then he has an idiot buddy direct it, and then his production company sells it to someone and distributes it. Like he's making movies like Kevin Smith makes movies, so there's not a bunch of studio like formula bullshit, which means that sometimes the jokes are going to be so stupid, but sometimes they're going to be amazing.
Yeah. Right.
So, I don't know. Sometimes I just got annoyed with somebody. It wasn't that long ago I got annoyed with somebody for trying a million jokes and not all of them landing, and I can't remember what movie that was. But then, like, in this one, I liked it. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, dude, again, the stuff that I remember laughing at way back in the Gap is still funny. It's just not the same kind of funny to me.
Yeah, which is fine.
I don't know.
This is an easy 8 for me. I thought about 8.5, but I think 8. I think 8's good. There's so many quotes.
Say 8.
And the cool thing about it is it's an hour and a half. It's a really easy watch. Like it's a really bright movie. Like the director said, like I wanted everyone to be wearing bright colors, and I wanted the like background to be really bright, like so that like a kid would see the world. Dude, Bridgette Wilson's performance, because when we were younger, just like Veronica Vaughn, so hot, want to touch the hiney. But now I'm like, dude, that's a good character. Like she's not dressed like. She's dressed like a school teacher, even though she's wicked hot, and she's a strong, independent woman. She's a kicking his ass. That's a badass female character. So like, there's a lot of stuff about this that I really appreciate. Like, there's even a segment about bullying. He's going like, "Hey, I bullied some kids. I'm going to apologize." Like, no one even thought that was. I mean, we knew that bullying was bad, but also no one cared until like 10 years ago.
Right.
So, yeah, dude, there's just a lot of stuff I really like about this movie. And then parts that I don't like are so easy for me to tune out or just, like, look at my phone.
Yeah, just look away. Right.
All right, let's do scenes. What's your first best scene?
What about, dude, first best scene for me is the dodgeball scene. They showed it in the trailer.
Man.
I used to love dodgeball back in the Gap. B, I can't imagine playing in the middle of a large playground like that, where if you miss somebody, the ball just
goes onto the highway,
rolling for 600 yards. Yeah, I don't. That sounds horrible. But like he gets hit in the face right as he walks out, and of course it's O'Doyle. O'Doyle rules. He gets hit in the face and he goes back into Miss Libby and says like, like I'm out. And she's like, no, you got to go back out there. It's Miss Libby time. And then he catches it and he's like, now you're all in big, big trouble.
Yeah.
And dude, I read a thing where they were talking about, him talking to the director and said like, hey, tomorrow we're going to film the dodgeball scene. I want to really hit these kids. So put them in line, ask each one of them if it's okay if I hit them, and is it okay, like ask their parents, get their parents' permission. And she was cutting it, not to make it look like he was humming the ball at him, but she was cutting it right before they started crying. And I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, dude, I agree. Because the article I was reading with the director, she said like Sandler called her the night before, and she's like, hey, tomorrow I want to do a dodgeball scene on the playground with the kids, and I want to really hit him because it's hilarious if an adult hits a kid with a dodgeball. And so she's like, we get the parents to sign off, and like he's throwing it hard, but he's not throwing it at the head, like he's like hitting him in the legs. But same thing, she's like, I'm cutting away because they're all crying. She's like, and it was the day that Entertainment Weekly was coming to visit the set, so I was trying to like keep them away from where we were shooting.
Oh Jesus! Oh my God!
That's a great one, dude.
Great. What's your first scene?
I love that one. I went with one that had a bunch of quotes that I liked, where he's in third grade with Veronica Vaughn as his teacher, and the kid's reading and he's stuttering, and friggin' Billy Madison goes, "Today, Junior." Dude, and she grabs him by the ear and drags him out into the hallway and starts yelling at him. I was like, God, it's so... And dude, he never breaks character. He just goes, I can't hear you. I've been physically abused in the ear. And she's just like threatening him and stuff. And she's like, if you don't just sit there and shut up, I will fail you and you'll lose your stupid challenge. And then and then she goes back in the classroom and he just goes, Veronica Vaughn, so hot. Want to touch the hiney?
Dude, the Today Junior is in my quotes. I have kids that both learned to read pretty early, but every time they would do that, it took everything in my power not to Today Junior. Like I can't discourage them like that. But yeah, dude, that's in one of my quotes. I say anytime somebody stutters that doesn't actually have a stutter, I throw that out there. So that's definitely one.
I also think another thing I like about this movie is that, like, Billy Madison has a legitimate character arc. He's a total selfish alcoholic dipshit, and then he ends it, and he, like, kind of cares about stuff, and he's, like, being nice to people, and he's got friends, and he's trying hard, and he's going to turn his life around. Like, I like that. I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of the bare minimum for a movie, but they did it, and I appreciate that, because...
Yeah.
Like, dude, Dumb and Dumber, there's no... Lloyd doesn't have an arc in Dumb and Dumber. He's the same idiot at the end as he is at the beginning.
Same all the way through. Yeah. So, dude, somebody was talking about on Reddit for this movie, and they were saying, like, hey, I was watching the movie, and I'm wondering, is he just, like, a really drunk, lazy douche, or does he have, like, a legitimate problem and has like a learning disability and we're all making fun? I was like, oh man, I hope it's the first one. I had no idea to think whether
I think he's just a spoiled rich a-hole, which is, those are out there.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. boy are they.
What's your next scene?
So, dude, yours was a good one. Want to touch the hiney is so funny. The next one I have is when they're on the field trip on the bus, and Chris Farley is driving the bus, and the kids are in the back. Miss Vaughn is sitting up front, and the kids are, they're doing regular kid stuff. Hey, I dare you to go touch your boob, stuff like that. Yeah. But the part that I focus on every time is he's like, hey, I dare you to throw your sandwich at the bus driver. And they throw the sandwich. It hits Chris Farley in the back of the head. He yells, hey. She turns around. Veronica Vaughn says, like, hey, who threw that? He loses his mind. And he's just like, I'll turn this bus around. That'll end your field trip really damn quick. And he's just like gripping the steering wheel and making his face flush red. Yeah. And he is just getting more. He looks like he's having a stroke. And I absolutely love that part.
Yeah. And the director also said that before he shot his scenes as the bus driver, he did 6 espresso shots, and then he would hold his breath before the take started to get him make himself all red faced. He was like, I actually thought he was going to stroke out. Like, I thought he was going to have a heart attack on camera. And I was like, dude, that guy.
Oh, the things he did for our amusement.
That commitment is insane. Well, so Chris Farley and David Spade are shooting Tommy Boy at the same time as they're shooting Billy Madison, and they're all friends, and they're all shooting in Canada. So they hung out a lot during the production of those movies, which we're going to do both of them this year, and they're iconic comedies. But at the time, no one has any idea. None of those people have ever done movies before. Right. So I love that Chris Farley comes in and is basically giving himself a stroke. And dude, and his little like throwaway stuff, like when the kids are getting back on, everyone on the bus, great, grand, terrific, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, and how he like holds his hand out and stops Adam Sandler so he can look up her dress.
Yeah.
Ah, man,
that's
freaking what a comedic genius.
That's my next scene. They go on the field trip because it has a bunch of stuff that happens, like he's in third grade and his friend who's 9 years old, like Ernie, pees his pants, and dude, and Sandler, he goes over, he's like, hey man, what's happening? And he turns, you can see the wet spot. He goes, oh God, and it's okay. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
No, wait. What he says, right as the kid turns, he goes, goo! And he freaking yells it. And I wrote goo as one of my extra things because I'm going to start bringing that out.
And then he goes to the water fountain and he freaking splashes water on his pants. And then the other kids are like, Billy peed his pants. He's like, of course I peed my pants. Peeing your pants is the coolest. Everybody pees their pants. And then the old lady says the classic line, if peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
Oh, dude. And did you know she lived to be 108, that lady?
She was in, I think,
ridiculous.
more than one Adam Sandler movie, if I remember right.
She's super funny. Dude, the whole field trip, the whole thing was funny.
Well, and then the end of the field trip, the other reason I put it there. So another thing, we get another moment of character development for Billy Madison because he's showing empathy. He's going to cover for the other kid. He's like, I peed my pants.
Right.
Everyone pees their pants. And then, by the way, all the kids get back on the bus. They've all peed their pants.
Yeah.
But then we get the classic.
Chris Farley.
We get the iconic, they're getting on the bus, and it's
like,
Billy
look at
Madison's going to get on last after Veronica Vaughn. And Chris Farley stops him and then turns his head all the way upside down to look up her skirt. And then does the whole, that Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace. A buddy of mine, it's like, no, he didn't. It's like, well, no, they didn't. But you can imagine what it would be like if they did.
Oh, man. Dude, I can remember being in places that were loud. Places like a Mexican restaurant. You're at like Cuco's or La Carreta, and it's loud. And Biggin would go off into this. Like he would see somebody, or we'd be talking about her, and he would go, man, that Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace. I know from experience, if you know what I mean. And I'm egging it on, so I'm like, no, you don't. He's like, well, not me personally, but a guy I know, he and her got it on. Whee! And he would like scream it, and everybody in the restaurant would look at us. Oh, man, I miss that. I need people to get really loud in restaurants and embarrass me. I like that.
And quote 30-year-old movies.
I mean, I have kids, so they do that for me.
Right, but it's not as funny. But yeah, I put that scene in there because I got like 3 great quotes and then another moment of character development from Billy.
Yes, good call. Good call. My last one is the academic decathlon.
Yeah, same.
We haven't even talked about Bradley Whitford yet, and
dude, I love Bradley
him.
Whitford. He's great.
He's so good. The whole idea is he tried to fix it to where he was going to cheat, and then the principal came in and said, like, we can do one more thing, and he was going to give them a decathlon. They had to do all these different things, and at the very end, they had to give a little presentation. And the one that Billy picks for him is business ethics.
Yeah.
And I freaking love that because he knew exactly what he was doing. But the reason that I picked this scene is because it's the quote that everybody knows. It's just like they give it to why the Industrial Revolution changed the literature in America. And Billy Madison looks at Mrs. Libby and thinks about the book that and he was saying stupid stuff like, like the puppy was like industry, and nobody, especially little boy, society, knew where to find him except the puppy was a dog. And then he ends it with like nib-high football rules. Everybody goes crazy, and the principal says the most iconic quote.
Yeah,
and
that's
I've used it probably 5 or 6 times as a teacher. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Just what you've said is the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Come on. How do you write that? That's hysterical.
That is a great,
great
quote.
I haven't. Dude, it is written on an index card that's sitting in my podium. So when we're doing stuff and kids like raise their hand and answer, or if we're doing a thing where we're trying to like review for a test and they're giving answers and a kid goes on too long and he's trying to say it but he doesn't, I just pull that card out and I read it. I have it printed on an index card so I can read it clearly. It's very nice. Works perfect.
Yeah, dude, that's perfect. That.
What is that your third one?
Yeah, that's my third one because the whole thing is like, dude, there's like a cooking challenge. And then, like, Bradley Whitford plays the violin, and then Adam Sandler tries to play the clarinet, and he has no clue how to play the clarinet. And then they race, in track, and Bradley Whitford wins. He's like, second team, all conference, Harvard. And then Adam Sandler pushes him over a bench, and he falls down. And then two of the high school kids are like, "Did you see that guy's balls?" Like,
yeah, they were weird.
There's just so much. And then the final thing is it's like Jeopardy, and they're all standing up there. I choose for Eric a question in the category of business ethics. It's friggin' and then Bradley Whitford gets mad at the question, pulls out a pistol. Principal, scoop of chocolate, scoop of vanilla, don't waste my time, comes out in his wrestling costume. And then Steve Buscemi shoots him in the ass, the $1 million wound. I guess the government keeps that money from the freaking attic. It's ludicrous. It's so good.
Glad I called that guy. Oh, yeah. Steve Buscemi being in there was hysterical.
Yeah.
Hysterical.
It's great.
Dude, so we both said some of each other's quotes. I don't know how many quotes you wrote down. I threw a couple of extras in there.
I've got more.
So I still have 3 that I can. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, my first quote is one that I had forgotten even comes from this movie, but that I used to say all the time and still say quite a bit. Every time you successfully complete a task, you just say, "I am the smartest man alive." Which is after Adam Sandler, as Billy Madison, correctly spells the word couch.
Are you going to the mall later? Oh, man. Freaking every time. Naruto. I can't, genius. The whole thing's genius. Dude, it wasn't until I watched this again that I'm the smartest man alive. I mean, I've said that jokingly, but I just didn't remember it being from this. That's awesome. My first one was about that Veronica Vaughn is one piece of ace, and then another one was Today Junior. But dude, Ponchatoula is in the same district. I think it's the same district as a school in Louisiana called Doyle. And the softball teams play each other all the time. So when the coaches are in the hallway talking about softball and they're like, yeah, we got to play Doyle this week. I was like, Doyle rules. And I just yell it out. And they know what I'm talking about, but none of the kids have any idea. And they won the game or something happened. And I was like, oh, Doyle, I got a bad feeling your whole family's going down. But for now, I got to study. And I'll just close the door and walk in out of the hall. Dude, how does a movie 30 years old still stay in there that much? I even know a person named Doyle that I talk to still. That's weird that, I don't yell it out more than I do.
Yeah. Some of the stuff is so weird that I don't know.
Was my quote.
Yeah, because that reminds me of, remember when he convinces his dad to let him try let him try to go back to school, and he's on the spiral staircase at his house with the golf V-neck sweater, and it's all torn up, and he's just doing it. Going in downtown, and he's just dancing on the stairs for 20 seconds. I'm like, dude, that's such a weird shot. How the hell did that even happen?
Of all the things they cut out, they leave that in. I'll tumble for you. I don't. Culture Club? That's so weird, but that's
super weird.
Type of
and then the director was even saying and I didn't understand why the housekeeper was overly sexual towards him. They never explain it. She just keeps making remarks. She's like, "You want me to take my shirt off, baby?" And he's like, "No, I'm fine, thank you."
No, thank you. And he's about to smile. She's smiling. It's great. That's great.
Yeah, dude, that's a good quote.
What's your next quote?
My second quote is one that I used to say all the time because I had a buddy named Carl in L.A. and he would get super mad. But Adam Sandler, Billy Madison's making out with Veronica Vaughn in his tent that he lives in the front yard. And Carl comes in to tell him something, and he goes, "Hey, Carl, so good to see you." Which is how I used to greet my friend Carl every time he would come out with us, and he hated it.
Yeah, he's getting in his way, man. I thought for sure you were going to say my other quote, which is, "Sorry doesn't put the delicious Triscuit crackers in my stomach now, does it, Carl?" Because I still say that every time somebody's like, "Oh, sorry, we ran out. We don't have any more pizza." And, I just freaking love it. I love it.
Yep.
So good.
What's your next one?
That was one of them. And then my last one is chlorophyll. Yeah. Chlorophyll, more like borophyll. Dude, Like, it's so ridiculous. But I'm a teacher now, and I've had kids just yell out stupid stuff like that. Like, do you know what they call a bundle of sticks that you light on fire during Christmas time, during the winter solstice?
No, I don't.
Do you know what that's called?
No.
It's Faggot.
Yeah.
And every time that we talk about that with the winter solstice, dude, I'm teaching juniors and seniors. Every single one of them is like Adam Sandler in this movie, and they cannot. They're calling each other a stupid bundle of sticks. Like, it's going off the rails really fast. So I feel bad for that teacher that's teaching about chlorophyll.
Dude, he was into it, man. He was really like... He was like selling it, and I was like, "These kids don't give a shit." I hate to tell you. That's how I know they're all paid actors. They were all watching intently. Dude, the high school part of this is great because he's like he struggles through elementary school, and then he gets to go back to high school. And he's 27. He's like, "I was the king of this high school." He pulls up in his freaking Firebird, wearing an REO Speedwagon T-shirt and a jean jacket. And he's like sitting on the hood with his freaking collar popped, like showing off the REO Speedwagon.
Yeah, he keeps pulling it open even further so you can make sure that he can see it's REO Speedwagon.
And then it turns out everyone hates him and he's a loser, which is awesome because when you're 27, you do still think that kids think you're cool and they don't. They hate you.
They all hate you.
Dude, I always think about Chris Rock in one of his like more recent stand-up specials where he's talking about after he got divorced. He's like, I realized how old I was. He's like, I was trying to talk to Rihanna. She thinks I'm like her uncle. She doesn't give a shit about me. I was like, yeah, dude, welcome to being in your 40s and 50s. Like,
they all hate you. Yes.
But yeah,
what other quote you got?
My third quote is the one that is, I award you no points and may God have mercy on your soul. That whole speech, which is by far the best quote of the movie. My bonus quote is at the beginning of the academic decathlon when the moderator is like, "There'll be no cheating, especially with my wife, who's a dirty, dirty tramp." Because I've said that a million times.
All the things.
Yeah.
On the board, all the things.
Yeah,
like
the
every other one was something about my lion tree. Yeah, my lion. Horrible
category,
life
I
or
married a
something
skank.
Like,
yeah, dude. Oh my God. There's so... But this is one of those movies, like, I could get a dozen quotes out of this without trying that hard.
Oh, yeah.
Because I even had on my sheet that didn't make it into my final section, the Adam Sandler in the bathtub. Shampoo is better. I go on first and clean the hair. No conditioner is better. So stupid, but I remember it like crystal
Stop staring at me, Swan.
Yeah. Stop looking at me, Swan.
Yeah, looking at me. Ah, Christ. Dude, all good quotes. This is a super quotable movie.
Yeah, and maybe not if you weren't in your teens when this came out, but dude, we were. So let's do characters.
Yeah, it hit us. Dude, my first one is Chris Farley, the bus driver. He's not the only reason I watched this movie, but God, he is freaking funny when he's helping him study, and he's like, "That is correct," and he takes his shirt off. I just can't. It's so funny to me. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, dude, I put him first. Chris Farley will never not be funny to me.
He's great. I got Billy Madison, Adam Sandler first. Even though some of the stuff he does is corny and some of it's cringe and some of it is a huge swing and a miss. Like, it's just, you could not possibly do this movie without Adam Sandler playing Billy Madison.
Totally right.
Like, I don't care who the funniest
dude, I had
person,
him on there
like,
too.
just, you want to put Eddie Murphy in this? Like, it's not going to work. Like, you need Adam Sandler. He's the only one who can do it.
Yes. Oh, Eddie Murphy would not be as funny. You're right, dude. And I had Billy Madison on there too. Friggin' Adam Sandler, his childish, like over the top anger, but is oddly charming all at the same time. There's very few people that can do this.
Yeah,
like he kills it.
My second character is Veronica Vaughn, Bridgette Wilson. Not yet Bridgette Wilson Sampras, but soon to be Bridgette Wilson Sampras.
Yeah,
she's great, man. I think it's a really good character.
Pete Sampras.
Pete Sampras. She married Pete Sampras.
Is it Pete? Yeah.
Yeah. She's like stupid hot, but she's also really. I like the character. She's like I said, she's not like dressing like she's not trying to like tart it up. She's dressing like a school teacher, she's kicking his ass. Like, she's like motivating him and like smacking him around. It's pretty awesome. I think it's a really good character for a comedy, like a broad comedy in the mid '90s. This could have been so like stereotypical.
Yeah. I agree. I like Veronica Vaughn's character. I think she's also wicked hot. What's the deal with all of Billy Madison's love interests, or not Billy Madison, Adam Sandler's love interests, all having VV names?
That's so funny, man, because I was thinking during this movie, I was like, dude, because then he's got the Waterboy girl, Vicky Valancourt.
Yeah.
She's not the devil. She's the most beautiful woman in the
Vicky
world.
Valancourt.
I was like, dude, what is his? Yeah, what is it with the double V for his love interests?
But isn't that all? Like, I think it's all of them. Because even like, what's Julie Bowen and what you call it? It's Virginia something. It starts with a V.
Yeah,
it's like Virginia, I think is her name. Dude, like
Virginia
it's weird
Bennett.
To me that's a.
I always thought that they were saying Virginia Bennett, but I'm looking at her on the cast list. It says Virginia Bennett. That's because I was trying to figure that out. I was like, did they do this in like
I remember
a lot of these
reading
movies?
it. I think a lot of his movies have VV as the thing, and that's weird.
Well, even in 3 movies, it's pretty weird to have a double V name. Because I'm clicking on some other ones, like Wedding Singer. Drew Barrymore played someone named Julia. So it's not in that one. But
yeah,
like I haven't gone through all of them. Like Big Daddy, I don't think like Joey Lauren Adams. I don't think her name started with a V. But my internet's being wicked slow, so I can't look up any of the other ones.
Veronica Vaughn, Virginia Bennett, Vicky Valancourt, Valerie Varan from Little Nicky.
Yeah.
Violet Van Patten in Pixels. Man, I like Vicky Valancourt, Mama. She showed me the boobies.
Dude, there had to have been like a really good-looking girl at Adam Sandler and Tim Hurley's high school that had a name that had 2 V's. That's all I can think of because he writes all this stuff with Tim Hurley.
2 V's. Yeah. All
right, who's your third character?
My third one is Eric Gordon, not the 3-point taken fool from the Pelicans that gets traded to everybody. But Bradley Whitford, I think he plays the perfect 90s corporate villain. I think he's funny, but he also like has quips that like he's fast enough, I think, to play this. But he's also like crazy enough, like his laugh and when he pulls the gun, like I believed it. I like Bradley Whitford in almost everything, but I liked him in this a lot.
I have him as my third. Also, he's great. I mean, obviously, like I mainly know him from like West Wing and Handmaid's Tale and stuff like that. But he's fantastic. He's perfect in this. He's like Weasley and like he's got the quips and he's going to try to steal the company. Was
it you that showed me Studio 60? He's in that too.
He's in that. He's great. He's done a bunch of stuff with Aaron Sorkin.
He's awesome.
But originally they Adam Sandler wanted to put Bob Odenkirk in this role because he was at the time worked with him on Saturday Night Live, but Odenkirk didn't really do any acting at that point, so the studio wouldn't do it. And then Adam Sandler suggested Philip Seymour Hoffman, but Seymour Hoffman turned it down. And then they gave it to Bradley Whitford, and he's freaking awesome.
Killed it. Any of those guys would have been fine with me. I like all three of those.
Yeah, that one I could recast, although I loved what Bradley Whitford did here.
Yeah. You want to talk about the director?
Yeah, so Tamara Davis, like I said, she came in late. There was another director that they had started working with. It wasn't working. And she just kind of said, like, I just wanted to let Adam Sandler do his thing, which I didn't understand at the time because we'd only seen him on SNL. So I just, like, kind of backed off and let him, like if he said, like, I have a weird idea, it's like, great, let's capture that. And then I was trying to make sure that, like, he was always in a good mood and that the crew was in a good mood. And I was trying to, like, make sure I shot him in such a way that he was attractive, you know, so that girls would like the movie because I knew boys would like it. But it's like, you know, I was telling him, like, don't eat 2 cheeseburgers, like, you're going to be in the pool tomorrow or whatever. So, I mean, I think it's
Yeah,
I think the work she did here is pretty important. And also stuff like Bridgette Wilson's, like changing out her wardrobes. Like school teachers don't wear miniskirts. Like she's got to dress in some teacher shit. Like we got to change that up.
Yeah, more conservative. Yeah, dude. Plus the movies that she did before this. So like in '93, she did CB4, which is
CB4,
like a funny like a gangster rap thing with Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And then she did Bad Girls with what's her name from Groundhog Day and
Annie McDowell and Drew
Barrymore, like the prostitutes that become like gunfighting chicks.
Yeah.
And then she does this and like Half Baked, and then she does Crossroads. That was filmed in Hammond and Ponchatoula. That's with not with Daniel LaRusso, but the Crossroads with Britney Spears.
With Britney Spears.
So like she's done other movies I've seen. Yeah. So like, I didn't even realize she was.
She's done quite a bit of television.
She
awesome. She did fewer movies than I would have thought. She's done an absolute crap ton of music videos. That was like kind of where she got her start, which where a lot of directors get their start, either in commercials or music videos. But yeah, man, I think this is a good one. She did a good job. And then the writers,
she did Bust a Move by Young MC.
Yeah, dude,
that's amazing. I had no idea. And she's married to, was married to Mike D of the Beastie Boys.
Yeah,
so that's cool. I didn't realize.
And then
that.
it's written by Adam Sandler and Tim Hurley, who I think is maybe like a high school buddy of Sandler's that he's just done a bunch of stuff with.
So funny.
So, they were roommates at NYU. And so it said that when Sandler started doing stand-up during his sophomore year at NYU, Hurley was writing jokes for him even back then. And then Sandler gets onto SNL, and Hurley, he's writing stuff there, and then he eventually gets hired at SNL. He stays on to SNL, and even I think ends up being the head writer at SNL. But he co-wrote stuff with
nice.
Adam Sandler. Like he co-wrote Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Wedding Singer, Waterboy, Big Daddy, Pixels. So $3 billion worth of movies that he did with Adam Sandler. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's freaking crazy. It's all the same dude.
Yeah, well, it's awesome because Adam Sandler is famously working for the same people as he started working with in like 1988. He's still like, if you're not a dick, he just goes like, just come along for the ride, and everyone's going to make enough money, and we're always going to have fun.
Right. The guy who produced it, he's freaking produced all kinds of stuff with Adam Sandler also. So like, I think that has, and he did Half Baked with the other chick. His name is Robert Simmons.
Robert Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah. So Airheads, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Bulletproof, Wedding Singer, Half Baked, Waterboy. All those he produced, but then he executive produced a ton more movies. Dude, I went down a long rabbit hole because we always talk about like what's the difference between the two. I actually found out. I found an article about it. So a producer is the person that's more hands-on. Like they hire the director, the cast, the key crew, and all that stuff, and like they work on they oversee the budget and the schedule and all that stuff, like day-to-day operations type stuff. Whereas the executive producer is literally sometimes they help attract talent by their name. But mostly they provide financing. So they get other people to finance with them, or they finance it themselves. So like he was a producer on this. He was like made some post-production ideas and said like, hey, we should use this song here and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff producers do. So,
yeah. Well, I think also in this movie particularly,
I know
Tamara Davis said that the producer, and I forgot who she said, I don't know if it was this guy or one of the other producers, really was helpful in keeping the studio like off of their back from giving them dumb notes, because they're shooting in Toronto, and so they're sending dailies. And in the 90s, I think they're actually like putting them in an envelope and putting them on an airplane and taking them to Los Angeles. And then someone calls you on a landline and goes like, we didn't like we want the guy in the pool to have a different colored jet ski. But he was just like running interference, being like, just shut up and stay away, because we're doing stuff you're not going to understand, which is a very important job.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a super important job, and I feel like, I know we don't always know what the hell's going on with these things, but like, I feel like the producer is a pretty big part of the executive producer is too, but like not near as much as like. not near as much as something like the regular producer. They're making like actual decisions. I had no idea. So
Yeah,
that's
well, they're
why I
both
finally
making
decided
actual
to look that
decisions,
up.
but I think it depends on what the specific production and how many producers there are, what the role is. All right, do you have any other bonus?
Yeah.
Good.
No. Oh, the house that
Yeah.
Billy lives in. That's been on a ton of different shows. It was the X-Man house. X-Men? X-Men. Charles Xavier's house.
Yeah.
In the first X-Men movie. So I thought I recognized it, and I looked it up, and that was a thing. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's The Boys, Chicago. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much. The
Parkwood
list of
Estate
stuff that's filmed
in
there.
Ontario.
Yeah, it's 9 million things. Tuxedo,
Yeah.
big
I
one,
knew
obviously.
I recognized it.
Yeah,
Ooh.
Undercover Brother.
Dude, Tuxedo. I remember that. Is that Jackie Chan and Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Yeah,
Tuxedo?
Jackie Chan, Jennifer Love Hewitt. 2002.
Holy crap. Never do that one.
Yeah, no, probably not. Worst. The only stuff that I logged as the worst is that in the 90s, they played it pretty fast and loose with calling people words about being developmentally disabled that we wouldn't call people anymore. The poster has
Right.
Veronica Vaughn in the background with a little thought bubble saying, "What a moron," looking at Billy Madison. It's like, you can't say that anymore. And then one of the kids in the movie's like, "This is Billy. He's in my class. I think he's..." And then hits him with the hard R. And I was like,
Oh, man.
yeah, we don't.
Yeah, dude,
we wouldn't say that.
When I heard you just say moron, you can't do that, all I could think of is Patton Oswalt. We don't want to offend morons now? What are they going to write letters? I was going to fire off an angry missile, but my pants were choked with poo. The mocking the stuttering students and the hard R word. I put down there. I also put the penguin, maybe less penguin when we redo this, and maybe make the Juanita's character.
Yeah.
She skirts on some pretty racial stereotypes there, but I kind of liked it. It was funny.
She was awesome, by the way. I got to figure out what her name was. Oh, Juanita. Teresa Merritt.
Teresa
She
Merritt.
was freaking fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, agreed.
I remember she was in The Wiz.
Yeah.
Pull over, I got to take The Wiz. She was in The Wiz. I love that.
All right, 5 questions. Is it okay for kids? Boys, yes.
Yeah, I was going to say my 11-year-old son loved it. My daughter, who is 7, she has a while before I let her see it, and I don't think she'll find it as funny. She has a funny sense of humor, but it's closer to her mom.
Yeah. What would this movie get made if it were pitched now? It's weird because it's yes and no. It's yes because Adam Sandler can still make absolutely anything that he wants, and it's no because it doesn't work. He's not going to go back and do it again.
Unless it's him.
Yeah, he's not going to reboot it with himself again in his late 50s, and he's the only one who can.
Right. Yeah. Would you watch it, though, if it was like, hey, this is Billy Madison 2, and now he's taken over with Carl, and he has hijinks in the hotel business?
Honestly, man, I don't even know if I'm going to watch Happy Gilmore 2, because Happy Gilmore is so good that when they try to make a sequel to a comedy 30 years later, I'm like, I think it's only going to make me enjoy the original less.
I don't know. I'm definitely going to try it.
When's the time they made a sequel to a comedy 30 years later and you're like, that was a freaking incredible. That was so funny. I'm so glad they did that.
Yeah, but I didn't even Happy Gilmore 1, I didn't think was incredible, and but I think it's funny. I don't know. Same thing with the Star Wars thing. People are always like, oh man, don't make new Star Wars movies.
Tell me you've ever played golf and not said a Happy Gilmore quote.
Yeah, every time. Now there'll be new quotes you could say
I kind of doubt it.
Play golf.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not going to remake this. It could be a TV show. That would be dumb. They're not doing that. Adam Sandler doesn't do TV shows. And who plays the lead if we remake this? We're not remaking this. There isn't another.
Yeah. Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I do want Walton Goggins, though, playing Eric Gordon. I think he could do that.
Yeah.
Goggins
Dude,
can do anything.
I mean, he's busy. We're going to have a hard time making his deal, but I'm for it.
Man. So can you still watch and enjoy it?
It's absolutely hysterical. The thing that I want to know is if you haven't seen this and you're going to go watch it now and you're an adult, is it funny at all? Or is it like, this is so stupid?
No, it's not going to be funny. Yeah. Dude, it's got to be because we saw it when we were young. Otherwise, I can't imagine we still find it funny. Unless you got the hots for Adam Sandler like my sister.
That's kind of my thought. Yeah, it's streaming on Amazon Prime. Yeah. You can rent it everywhere else that you rent stuff, $2.99. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps this one up.
What's the next movie?
The next thing we're going to do on the main feed will be Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. What you gonna do? Are we ever going to make it to all the Bad Boys? Probably not, right?
Dude, they just did a Bad Boys last year.
They're still making
You're asking
them,
if we're going to be doing this in like 2054? I feel like probably not.
We could be doing it from our flying cars. Or from an island that we live on. Since
we could be doing
no
it from our AI clone brains.
Oh man, yeah.
All right,
Bad Boys, can't wait.
Thank you guys for listening. See you next time. Bye con Dios.
Bye con Dios.
Thanks for listening to Movie Life Crisis. Please subscribe, rate, and review, and remember, don't drive angry.